You hear faint scratching up in the ceiling. You watch your cat's ears perk up, and you probably brush it off as a minor distraction. But inside your cat's brain, that invisible noise actually triggers a powerful sequence of ancient predatory instincts. Because they are entirely blocked by drywall, being continuously locked out of this hunt silently destroys their mental state. Most of us, without realizing it, leave them trapped in a frustrated cycle that leads to those bizarre, destructive behaviors you simply cannot explain. But here's where it gets interesting. To understand what is actually happening in your living room, we have to look at how your cat physically experiences the world. You see, cats evolved with an incredible biological advantage called ultrasonic hearing. While humans max out hearing sounds at around 20,000 hertz, cats can easily hear frequencies all the way up to 64,000 hertz. And that matters more than most people actually realize. Because mice and rats communicate, scratch, and scurry exactly within that high-frequency ultrasonic range. So, when you hear a faint rustle every now and then, your cat is basically listening to a high-definition, surround sound broadcast of a mouse moving through the insulation. Now, when your cat hears that sound, their brain does not just passively process it. It instantly fires up a deeply ingrained predatory sequence. For thousands of years, their ancestors survived by completing a very specific cycle. They are hardwired to stalk, chase, pounce, and finally catch their prey. The exact moment they detect that target in the walls, their brain gets flooded with dopamine, driving them to complete the hunt. But there is a massive sheet of drywall in the way. They track the sound, they get the intense chemical rush, but they can never make the physical catch. Veterinary behaviorists call this state frustrated predation. Your cat's brain is basically hitting the gas pedal, but the physical environment is slamming on the brakes. And honestly, it is perfectly fair enough that most of us never notice how psychologically damaging this is. We cannot hear those high-pitched sounds, and when our cats sit there staring blankly at the ceiling, we just assume they are being quirky or mildly entertained. So, what happens when a cat is constantly locked in this endless cycle of frustrated predation? The stress does not just vanish when the mouse stops moving. It builds up inside their nervous system. According to experts and insights from the Cornell Feline Health Center, this kind of chronic, unresolved environmental stress can be a major trigger for conditions like feline hyperesthesia syndrome. Basically, their nervous system becomes so overloaded and overstimulated that their skin physically ripples and twitches. They might start aggressively biting at their own tail, over-grooming until their skin is completely raw, or suddenly darting across the room in a complete, unexplained panic. The hunting instinct is demanding a physical release, and because they cannot attack the mouse hidden up in the ceiling, they end up taking that extreme, pent-up frustration out on their own bodies. You see, our intention is good, but without realizing it, the home we built for them has become a cage for their instincts. And that gets to the heart of something most cat parents never consider. Take a 1-year-old cat named Leo, for example. Leo lived in an older apartment building, and right above his living room, there was a minor mouse problem up in the ceiling. Now, his owners did not think much of it at first, but soon, Leo started developing some intense, obsessive behaviors. He began over-grooming, literally biting his own skin until it was completely raw, and suddenly started peeing right on the living room rug. Naturally, his parents assumed the absolute worst. They thought it was a painful urinary tract infection, or maybe a sudden severe food allergy. So, they spent several weeks trying different medications, changing his daily diet, and testing out various litters, desperately hoping for a fix. But nothing worked. You see, the root of Leo's extreme anxiety had nothing to do with his physical health. The only thing that changed was cutting off those relentless sounds coming from the ceiling, proving the actual cure was never about medicine. And that brings us neatly to the part that actually changes things. The very first step is obvious but absolutely non-negotiable. You have to eliminate the source of the sound by calling in a professional extermination service. This is not just about keeping your house clean or protecting your drywall anymore. It is about fundamentally removing the invisible trigger that is constantly hijacking your cat's nervous system. But pest control takes time, and your cat needs immediate relief tonight. So, what do you do in the meantime? That is where redirection play therapy comes in. You need to artificially complete that broken predatory sequence. Grab a wand toy, preferably one with a little feather or a fuzzy attachment at the end. Do not just wave it randomly in the air. Drag it slowly right along the bottom of the baseboards, exactly where the real sound is coming from. Make it mimic a mouse. Move it a few inches, pause for a second, let your cat lock their eyes on it, and then make it dart fast across the floor. Let them stalk it, let them chase it, and most importantly, you have to let them catch it. Do not pull it away at the last second. When they physically sink their claws into that toy, their brain finally gets the biological payoff it has been craving all day. That physical catch releases a massive, satisfying wave of dopamine, effectively flushing out the deep frustration caused by the real mouse hidden in the ceiling. You are taking all that pent-up, explosive energy and giving it a healthy, complete exit route. But you cannot play with them 24 hours a day. So, when the play session is over and you are ready for bed, you have to scramble the signal. Cats rely on those ultra-high frequencies to track movement, so you need to create acoustic interference. Turn on a loud fan, a heavy-duty air purifier, or a dedicated white noise machine, and place it near the walls or directly under the ceiling where the scratching usually happens. White noise operates across multiple frequencies, effectively blurring out those sharp, ultrasonic sounds that rodents make. By masking the noise of the scurrying mice, you are essentially turning off the predatory broadcast. The invisible hunt finally ends. Their hyper-alert brain stops getting those constant acoustic triggers, allowing their deeply overstimulated nervous system to power down, relax, and get some actual rest. But those ultrasonic sounds from the ceiling are only one piece of the puzzle when it comes to understanding your cat's environment. You see, an indoor cat is constantly mapping out their territory, analyzing everything that crosses their invisible boundaries. While a hidden mouse might frustrate their hunting instincts, there are much bigger threats lurking right outside your house. In fact, seeing a stray cat walk past your living room window every single night is the real ticking time bomb for their mental health, and it changes their brain chemistry in ways you would never expect.